You guys already know this is the main one tapping in all the way from H-Town, Houston, Texas. I'm here with my boy T.A.G.
T.A.G.
T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
Yeah, that's T.A.G shit.
The only thing we're gonna do is take over, baby.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine.
What it is, what it was, and what it do, T.A.G Nation. Welcome to another episode of NXT.A.G, where tonight we will crown a new NXT champion in a 7-man ladder match. But more on that later. First up, as you can see on my screen, to open up the show, Izzi Dame is defending her Women's North American Championship against Lola Vice and former champ Thea Hale. This was not a bad match. This actually could have been a PLE worthy match. It did not and did at the times feel like a title change. So it did do pretty well with bringing on the drama that maybe the title can change hands. But all three women, put up their best efforts. Of course, Izzi didn't want to lose that championship. I mean, she just got it like a few weeks ago, so of course. But the closing moments had saw that Kalani Jordan interfered to take out Lola, took one of the ladders, smashed Lola's hand. More on that later. And then pretty much Izzi just ends up beating Thea. So Izzi retains her North American Championship. I'm pretty sure they're going to run back Izzi and Tatum 3 for the championship. Maybe Tatum may get that belt off of Izzi. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. But Kalani does have an interview much later in the show, pretty much explaining that she was upset that Lola had knocked her out in a match. And therefore, how can Lola knock anyone else out now when I just broke her hand? And it was kind of funny because the object is to win the match. And your opponent has a knockout move. So if you therefore get hit with the knockout move and you get knocked out, how is that her fault? But I digress. Next up, we did get a segment of Ren and Kendall was backstage talking, and then they was pretty much congratulating Soul on being in the Rumble and this, that, and the third. So sorry. Zarya walks up on Soul and was like, "Hey, where you been at, girl? Like, you couldn't tell me you was gonna be in the Rumble? I thought we supposed to be closer than close. You couldn't even tell me you was gonna be in the Rumble?" And she was like, "I was sworn to secrecy." And Zarya was like, "You know what? Whatever. I don't care about that. But what we need to focus on is getting these knockout tag team championships because I need this. I need something. So we need to focus on getting these championships tonight." And so kind of just leaves it at that. And pardon me, people, because I totally forgot. The show, let me rewind. So, of course, in the course of officially WWE. So with Ava leaving WWE, we have new leadership. So the show does open up with Sean pretty much giving interim GM status to Robert Stone. Now, with that, it's going to be interesting to kind of see where that goes, because he didn't flat out just make him GM. He said interim. Maybe they bring Regal back, or maybe the interim becomes permanent if they can't find somebody else. I don't know. But Robert Stone is interim, and later on, we're going to get one of his match ideas that's Yeah. But then we get to a segment. Chase U is talking, and pretty much Keanu Carver put a beating on Andre Chase so bad last week that he's still feeling it this week. So he's kind of tending to his jaw and everything while Uriah and Kale are talking, and Lexus, Stacks, and Oriana comes up. Hey, real talk. If I just said the name Lexus, Stacks, and Oriana, it sounds like a trio of strippers. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. But Lexus, Stacks, and Ariana walks up on them and pretty much was telling, Uriah that, this is all birthright, which I'm going to start calling Lexus, Stacks, and Ariana the birthright for the moment. That this is our birthright. Did you think about what we saying and how you trying to create opportunities? So pretty much they was like, well, how about we just fight it out? So later on, it's going to be a tag match. Chase U versus Birthright. Yep, I'm giving him the name, Birthright. Then the man of the hour finally makes his public statement known of what happened. Tony D is out there, new music, as we've been seeing, new persona, new attitude. And you know what's funny? And this is going to sound weird, I know. The new presentation of Tony D, I forgot that was Tony D's voice. I was expecting a different voice out of Tony D. I know it's weird. I know. But when you look at this version of Tony D compared to the old version, you forget that that's the same guy, kind of. So when he started talking, I was like, oh yeah, that is Tony D's voice. Like, I don't know what I thought I was expecting. I know, it's weird. But pretty much, he was saying that, he lost a family. He pretty much lost everything. He stood alone in a four-corner room staring at candles. He didn't know what to do. So pretty much, after he kind of snapped back into reality, he was like, I got to come back. And not only do I got to come back, but I got to do it grande. So yeah, he beat up some random people. Oh well. But he made it known that his first decree and declare is Dark State. Dark State was the reason he was out. Dark State was kind of like the catalyst to the family falling apart. So Dark State is in his crosshairs. And he's pretty much want to take everything away from Dark State. And then he said his second thing is, well, we'll see after I take care of Dark State. Why couldn't you just say your second thing is you want the NXT championship? Because we know that's what you want, big dog. Now, one thing that was mad irritating, and they're going to have to talk to the crowd. If a wrestler is out there doing this promo, we don't want to hear y'all talking in the audience. And it wasn't like the typical saying what or the saying yeets. You can hear people out there having like full-blown conversations loud as hell while Tony D is trying to talk, and it was so quiet that you could hear them because their voices were being picked up on the mics, and it was like, these people need to shut the hell up. That was very distracting and very irritating. Just putting it out there. Y'all may think differently, not me. Throughout the night, there was like little vignettes and little interviews or little promos featuring the 7 wrestlers that's going to be in the ladder match coming up. And Shiloh kind of had the most in-depth one because he was kind of going through each opponent and everything. But his was the most kind of in-depth because, Vanity Project was talking with Ethan Page and Ethan was giving Jackson Drake some advice. Joe Hendry, who was beat up, talked to Kelly Kincaid about being in the match. Ricky Saints was kind of, doing the Ricky Saints thing. And y'all can't see me on camera, but I am kind of doing Ricky Saint poses. Keanu Sean Legacy, they pretty much kind of showed him getting ready. Dion, of course, was back there with Dark State. So, that's kind of how they were showing all the 7 men kind of just pretty much getting ready for the match. Then we get to Jasper Troy does the vignette pretty much because a new men's speed tournament is happening. So we're going to have Elio LaFleur, Charlie Dempsey, Eli Knight, and Josh Briggs in this mini tournament. And the winner is supposed to take on Jasper in their Atlanta show. I think it's in 2-3 weeks. Somebody on the show one time said 2 weeks. Robert Stone at another point said 3 weeks. So whenever the Atlanta show is, I guess that's their next big kind of show. So tonight we get Elio LaFleur, Charlie Dempsey. Elio wins in like the last 20 seconds. And I will say the move he hit Charlie Dempsey with was actually kind of nice. Like, I actually was not mad at that little move he did. Like, just had to go up, look it up, and watch it because I was like, all right, cool. Bet. So next week, Eli Knight, Josh Briggs. Winner of that, of course, will take on Elio, and then eventually Jasper for the Speed Championship. Now we get to the women's tag team match for the Knockouts tag titles. The Elegance brand, Ash by Elegance and the Concierge was there, but the tag team champions are Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance taking on Soul, Zarya, Zaruka. Was trying to be the one woman army. She was trying to do any and everything she could to not tag in Soul. And if Soul did tag in, she kind of tagged in herself and things like that. But Zarya was pretty much like, if I want these belts, I'm going to have to do it myself kind of energy. And she was trying. Elegance brand was doing their thing, especially with the Concierge and Ash being out there. But ultimately, the closing moments was Zarya and Soul started to work together. And right when they was trying to work together and get on the same page, Zarya had, I think it was Heather by Elegance on her shoulders. And she kind of had her like she was going to do like her F5 type move, but she was having her for Soul to hit the Soul Snatcher. But I want to say the Concierge had the referee distracted. Ash pulled M, which caused Soul end up hitting the Soul Snatcher on Zarya. Ash then pulls out Soul, throws her into the steel steps. Heather and M hit their tag team finisher. They retain. Yeah. And Soul was trying to, comfort Zarya, and Zarya was like, get your hands off me. Don't touch me. Do not touch me. Then we do get a segment of earlier in the night, Jada Parker was outside, before they was letting all the fans in. And, she was, they was, cheering home with the Miss Parker chants. And Blake Monroe, you know what I'm saying? Beat her up. Once again, I keep telling y'all, the NXT parking lot is the most dangerous place in professional wrestling. Outside that building, any and everything is liable to happen to you. Just throwing it out there. Then we get Chase U versus Birthright. Once again, Lexis King, Stax taking on Uriah Connors, KO Dixon. Birthright wins. And when they was looking on the apron, Uriah looks and he was like, you know what? I'm done. Now, if you didn't tune in last week, right now, Birthright, other than Stax, but Ariana Grace, the daughter of Santino, Lexis King, the son of Brian Pillman, and newest member, seemingly, Uriah Connors, the son of Fit Finley. So there you go. Birthright. Until they get an official name, birthright. Because they keep saying this is our birthright. So why not? Fatal Influence comes out there and have a moment because JC was in the Rumble and she was pretty much saying she had her dreams of being in the Rumble. She always wanted to be in the Rumble, but then the dreams was dashed by Soul, so she was pretty much calling Soul out. But then the Ren QCC comes out there. I'm sorry, Zarya comes out there first. And Zarya was like, look, hey, I'm getting tired of being looked over and passed over. Like, I've been wanting that belt up off you, big dog. So I'm getting tired of whatever. Then the Ren QCC, because Kendall is still like, hey, bump all that. JC, you still screwed me over, and I know I can beat you kind of energy. And then Soul comes out there, and then Soul was like, yeah, it's cool that Ren and Kendall want the belt because at least they friends. He's like, I don't know about us. So there was a bunch of bickering, and JC was like, well, how about this? We gonna dip, and y'all figure it out. Robert Stone comes out there, and he announces a tag match. Ren QCC versus Aruka. This is where I'm talking about the innovation. Whoever gets the winning pinfall is the new women's number one contender. Let that sink in. Tag team match. Whoever gets the winning pinfall is the number one contender. Yep. Then we get to our main event of the evening. 7-man ladder match. Keanu Carver, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, Sean Legacy, Shiloh Hill, Ricky Saints, and Evolved Men's Champion Jackson Drake. I appreciate the fact that they actually gave this match some time, because this match started to start right at 8:30. It wasn't like this match came on at like 8:40, 8:45, and then it was a rush ladder match, because this match actually went through 2-3 different commercial breaks. So I'm actually glad that they actually gave this a little bit of time rather than having to speed rush a ladder match. And I will say this. They really did do a good job with somewhat making a case for any of these 7 to win. With it being somewhat a new legacy, a new time in NXT, they kind of made a case for any of these 7 to win. Now, if you want to know process of elimination, Sean Legacy and Jackson Drake wasn't going to win. Keanu, with his powerhouse madman skills, possibly. I mean, Joe Hendry, you say his name, he appears. Does I believe in Joe Hendry? Booker T voice. Joe Hendry, Joe Hendry. Dion Lennox, he's been gunning for that championship. Shiloh, though Shiloh is new, he still makes a good contender for the championship. And I mean, Richard Saints is absolute. He's former NXT champion. And I love the way they said that, hey, only 2 of these men, Richard and Joe, have actually competed for NXT championships, but Richard is the only one who's been former champ, and Joe and Richard have been the only men to compete in ladder matches. And I will say this. I understand the ladder matches we had of old, and I understand how they can be now, but I can appreciate safety in ladder matches. Nothing looked too like, ooh, I think they may be hurt. Nothing looked too brutal. Even though the closing moments, Keanu Carver, yeah, if anybody is hurt, it may be Keanu, because he took a spill. But like I said, between 7 men, it was a lot of action, a lot of moves being traded back and forth, a lot of ladder spots. Now, this is where I thought Tony D was going to start the Tony D Revenge Tour. I thought there was going to be a part where he was going to stop Dion from winning the belt. But there was no Tony D interference. But the closing moments pretty much had Keanu Carver hulking up. He took out Sean Legacy. He speared him through like the little wall thing that they had. He knocked Jackson Drake into the audience. First he beat up Shiloh. Then he did what he did to Jackson Drake. Then he took out Sean Legacy. I forgot what happened with Dion. But Ricky was climbing the ladder after, Keanu fell over, after, Keanu was pushed over, and he went from the inside to the outside and crashed through a ladder. So Ricky was grandstanding and, posing and, I'm Richard Saints in this bitch. And it was like, climb the ladder. So when he gets there, Joe Hendry was waiting on him, and they started squabbing back and forth. And you know what I'm saying? Joe Hendry hit him with a right and a left, and he hit him with that belief. And Ricky went down. And Joe Hendry grabbed that champion. So your new NXT men's champion is Joseph Hendry. Let us give an applause. Oh. Which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at Joe Hendry being the champion. I mean, he's still marketable. I mean, it's Joe Hendry. He's still Joe Hendry. So it's going to be interesting to see how his reign as NXT champion goes, let alone how long. And the only reason why I say let alone how long is because maybe since they just called up Oba, Trick, and Javon, maybe they kind of want, Joe Hendry to kind of cook a little bit more in NXT before they call him up. So we'll see. But yeah, congrats to Big Joe Hendry because, we believe. We believe. And that was NXT, y'all. Robert Stone, interim GM. Izzy Dame is still Women's North American Champion. The Elegance brand still hold on to their TNA Knockout Tag Team Championships. We have a new NXT Men's Champion in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see what's happening going forth, y'all. But thank y'all for tuning in. And whether you loved it or hated it, don't forget to rate it thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, leave all the comments down below. Share it. If you haven't already, make sure you tag that subscribe button. You tag that notification bell so you can be notified for all the videos we post. Shout outs to the Brethrens, Lip Dizzle, Jaeger Bombastic, Leo, and Juggernaut. And until next time, you beautiful people, love one another, love yourself, take care of one another, and take care of yourself. And until next time, don't forget to tag out. Peace.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama.